Welcome to Release Readiness Live. I'm Christy Moscoso, your Release Readiness champion. We are broadcasting from our home studios all of this week to share some new features in the Winter 21 release. After our product team shares the highlights, we'll spend some time taking questions on air. We will be monitoring both the Release Readiness Trailblazer community and Twitter, so post your questions as soon as you think of them with the hashtag Salesforce Live. I recommend posting your longer, more detailed questions in the community where the conversation can continue after this webcast. If we don't get to your questions on air, we'll be sure to follow up with you within a few days. All of our webcasts will be available on the Salesforce Live website for later viewing. And since we may be covering roadmap, we will be making some forward-looking statements, so please make your purchasing decisions based on currently available functionality. Now let's get started with Pardot and meet our product managers.
Thanks, Christine. Hi, everyone. My name is Michael Westfall, and I'm a product manager on the Pardot team. I'm joined today by my fellow product managers, Mark Knapp and Aubrey Gavin, and we're excited to show you all of the new functionality coming in the Winter 20 release. So let's get started. One of the things that makes Pardot great is the inspiration we get from all of you to help drive our innovation. We delivered a ton of new features in the past year, many of which came directly from the community. In our Spring 20 release, we delivered engagement history dashboards for leads and contacts and business snippets. Summer 20 was packed with community-requested features such as Salesforce authorization for Pardot APIs and the Opportunity Engagement History Dashboard. The trend continues in Winter 21 with some of the most requested features, a new email experience in Lightning and email scanner click protection. Overall, we have delivered nearly 14,000 ID exchange points. Pardot is all about marketing and sales working together to achieve your business objectives. And so when we think about our product roadmap, we've been focused on 4 key themes. To ensure your marketing and sales organizations are aligned and can scale as your business grows, we're continuing to invest in the Lightning platform. Sales and marketing productivity is also a key element for growth, so we are looking at ways to help both teams to be more productive and efficient. With marketing analytics, we will continue to make it easy for anyone to understand and improve campaign performance and overall marketing ROI. And artificial intelligence is changing the game and is key to unlocking the next level of productivity and effectiveness for both sales and marketing. Today, we're going to walk through each of these themes, talk about new functionality, show off some demos, and take a sneak peek at our product roadmap. And we'll start with the theme of having your sales and marketing teams operating on one platform. First up, let's talk about first-party tracking. First-party tracking will allow customers to only leverage first-party cookies for tracking purposes, which is growing in importance as browsers are continuing to crack down on third-party cookies. While third-party cookies can be leveraged to help customers provide personalization across domains, they can also be used for more nefarious purposes like tracking someone across the internet or for cross-site scripting attacks. First-party tracking will allow customers to improve their privacy posturing and maximize the data they collect for providing personalized experiences. First-party tracking is available as a beta in the Winter 20 release, and we will be demoing this functionality in just a minute. Next up is a new version of the Pardot API, version 5. API version 5 adopts modern REST standards and aligns closer to Salesforce syntax to help developers accelerate their projects. Our goal is to no longer have versions based on feature set, but a common API version that all of our customers are able to use. As the ability to manage content via the API has been a common task, we are starting with new endpoints that allow you to create, read, update, and delete both files and layout templates. These new endpoints open up ways to create integrations that sync content with another system, publish content into Pardot from another location, or support creating bulk loading tools to automate a repetitive task. These 2 endpoints will be available as a beta in the Winter 20 release. We're about to jump into some demos, but before we do, I want to take a moment and talk about Pardot User Migration Project. Back in July, we announced that Pardot will be discontinuing our user authentication system starting next year on February 15th. At that point, all users accessing Pardot will need to use Salesforce Single Sign-On. The primary motivator for this project is to make sure that all of our users have access to the latest Pardot functionality. The majority of features that Pardot has shipped over the past several releases are only available in the Pardot Lightning app. Features like Pardot Business Units, Engagement History, B2B Marketing Analytics, just to name a few. This trend will continue as we deepen our integration into the Salesforce platform, so we want all Pardot users to be in Salesforce and using the Pardot Lightning app. Another big motivator for this project is security. Salesforce currently offers a more robust set of security tools than Pardot does today. Tools like Salesforce Authenticator, the ability to set login hours for your users, and create custom password policies are just a few examples. Migrating Pardot users over to Salesforce will allow everyone to take advantage of these features. We do understand, however, that Salesforce licenses are not free, and that not all customers are in a position to issue full Salesforce licenses to all of their users. To support those customers, we have already backfilled 100 identity licenses into your Salesforce org at no cost. These identity licenses can be issued to users that cannot obtain a full Salesforce license. And while the identity license does not offer access to the Pardot Lightning app, it does allow continued access to the standalone Pardot application via Salesforce single sign-on. For more information on this project, please visit prd.to/user migration. Okay, that's enough talk. Let's look at some of these new features in action. In this demo, I'm going to cover 3 exciting updates coming in the next release. First is first-party tracking. Second, I'll demo the latest version of the Pardot API, version 5. And last, I'll walk through some of the practical tips for managing the upcoming Pardot user migration. Let's kick things off with first-party tracking. First-party tracking shipped as a beta in the summer 20 release. And while it's going to remain a beta in the winter 20 release, we have made several enhancements and improvements to this feature. Instead of focusing just on the changes from the last release, though, I'm going to walk through a full demo of the feature for anyone who might have missed the initial beta launch back in June. First, I need to enable first-party tracking in my Pardot org, and I do that right here from the account setting page. I'll click on Edit and scroll down to first-party tracking. Checking the Enable First-Party Tracking option activates the feature. We also have an option to keep third-party cookies enabled, which is a good idea if you're still tracking visitors across domains. I'll click Save, and now first-party tracking is available for configuration in my Pardot org. To configure first-party tracking, I'll head over to the domain management page where I can generate tracking code for an entire domain instead of having to create it at the campaign level. I already have a tracker domain created for linuxsoftglobal.com, and I'm going to reconfigure this domain to work in a first-party context. I'll click Edit and select a default campaign for this domain. The nice thing about associating a campaign to a tracker domain like this is that I can change the default campaign in the future without having to update any tracking code on my website. Once I save, I'll scroll down and generate new tracking code for this domain. I'll select my linuxsoftglobal.com domain, and the tracking code is automatically generated. Notice that the campaign ID field is blank here because we want to use the default campaign that we just configured on the domain. However, in the case that I do want to override the default campaign, I can do that right here. After selecting the campaign, notice that the campaign ID has been updated. Keep in mind, though, that overriding the default campaign does mean that I would have to update tracking code on my website in the future if I ever wanted to change the campaign. So I would exercise caution when using this override feature. If I had set an override campaign here in error, then I can simply remove it by clicking the clear button. Now I can roll out this new tracking code to my linuxsoftglobal.com website, knowing that I have full control to change the associated campaign in the future without having to involve my IT team. Let's take a peek at what this looks like in action. I'm looking at a page on my linuxsoftglobal.com website, and I've also pulled up DevTools to the Network tab. I'll select Pardot's Analytics tracking snippet, and we can see that it is being served from linuxsoftglobal.com and not from Pardot.com. Let's also jump over to the Application tab, and I'll take a look at Pardot's tracking cookies. In the domain column, we can see that Pardot's visitor tracking cookies are being set from linuxsoftglobal.com and not from Pardot.com. In fact, there are no cookies being set from Pardot.com, but Pardot's visitor tracking is still functioning. This is the power of first-party tracking. First-party tracking for websites shipped back in the summer release, but new to the winter release is the application of this same tracking behavior to Pardot hosted assets like forms and landing pages. Let's take a look. Here, I have a Pardot hosted landing page pulled up, and if we take a look at the cookies being set, we see the same behavior from the website. All of the visitor cookies are being set by linuxsoftglobal.com and not from Pardot.com. So that's a quick look at first-party tracking with Pardot. Our industry is quickly moving away from third-party cookies, so we encourage all of you to try out the first-party tracking beta. Now, let's take a look at some additions coming to version 5 of the Pardot API, which is also going into beta in the Winter 20 release. Pardot API version 5 includes new endpoints for performing CRUD operations on files and layout templates. It'll finally be possible to bulk upload files and templates directly into your Pardot org. It also opens up the opportunity for third-party content creation tools to add publish to Pardot type functionality into their applications. In this demo, I'm going to focus on files, and we will use the new Pardot file endpoint to create a new image in my Pardot org. The first step in creating these new endpoints is enabling them, which I can do right here from Pardot settings. I'll click Edit and scroll down to API version 5 beta, where I can click the checkbox to enable. Once I save, the new API version 5 endpoints are now available to me. Now I'm going to move over to Postman to send a request to the Pardot API. I've already created a file create request, but before we send it, I want to show off a few things about our new syntax, which, if you use Sales Cloud's API, should look pretty familiar. The first thing to highlight is that the HTTPS methods are now standard to the action, and the URL remains the same, following best practices for REST. The second thing to highlight is that the syntax follows a similar pattern as S-objects and leverages camel case. The final thing to highlight is that we are building in the concept of relationships, allowing you to easily retrieve data for related objects. In this case, we're returning the ID and username of the person creating the file, as well as the tracker domain ID and domain name. For now, we are only supporting one-to-one relationships, but we envision expanding this in future releases. To send this create request, I'll move over to the request body details. I'm going to select an image that I have on my computer of Astro from his last DJ set. You can see that I've pre-filled in a file name, campaign ID, tracker domain ID, folder ID, and a vanity URL for this image. If I didn't supply the folder ID or tracker domain ID with the request, then default settings would be used for each. I'll hit send to submit the request, and once I do, I receive a JSON response. The new API only supports JSON and removes the typing issues of our past API. Also, you can see the related object information being returned here at the bottom. Now let's jump back into Pardot to see our new file. I'm already on the files page, and when I refresh, we can see our new DJ Astro image. When I click in, we see all of the image metadata that we included in our API call. The folder, the campaign, the tracker domain, and the vanity URL have all been set. So that concludes the API demo, but we've really just scratched the surface of what Pardot API version 5 can do. I encourage everyone to visit developer.pardot.com for more details on this exciting API update. In the third and final section of the admin demo, I want to shift focus and talk about the upcoming user migration project that we talked about earlier in the presentation. To recap, on February 15, 2021, Pardot plans on shutting down our independent user authentication system and begin requiring that all users accessing Pardot do so through Salesforce SSO. To help Pardot administrators prepare for this change, I'd like to walk through 3 tactical steps that all admins will need to complete to have a successful migration: updating your users, updating your Pardot API integrations, and updating the Pardot WordPress plugin. The first step is updating your users. Any user that has not been linked to a Salesforce user and enabled with SSO will lose the ability to log into Pardot starting on February 15th of next year. Those users will not permanently lose access, but an admin will have to link them to a Salesforce user and enable SSO before they will regain access. The easiest way to know which of your users will be affected is to utilize the view filter on the user screen. Setting this filter to Pardot-only users will show you all of your users that are either not linked to a Salesforce user or are linked but do not have SSO enabled. In my case here, I have 2 users, Aubrey and Michael, who are linked to a Salesforce user but do not have SSO enabled. For users in this scenario, we simply select the user records and use the Enable Salesforce Single Sign-On table action to enable SSO. Mark's user here is neither linked nor SSO enabled. The process in this scenario is slightly different. I'll edit Mark's user record and scroll down to the CRM username dropdown. From here, I'll choose Mark's corresponding Salesforce user and click Save. Finally, I'll click the Enable Salesforce Single Sign-On link to enable SSO. Returning to the user screen, I now see that the list of Pardot-only users is empty. That's it. I've updated all of my Pardot-only users and won't have to worry about any of my users losing access to Pardot come February. In my case here, I only had 3 users that needed to be addressed, so handling them one at a time was not that big of a deal. If I had dozens or hundreds of users, though, then I would be looking at potentially hours of work. In this case, using the user import tool would be a huge time saver. Once I've opened the user import tool, I'll upload a CSV of users that I have and click Next. From here, you can see that my CSV contains CRM usernames for my users and is automatically mapped to the corresponding Pardot field. Further down, I can also auto-enable Salesforce SSO for these users. One key thing to know is that the user import tool not only creates new users, but it will also update existing ones. So I can use this tool to supplement additional information, like CRM username, for my existing Pardot-only users. So that's user updates. The second step to a successful migration is updating your Pardot API integrations. All existing integrations will need to be updated to use Salesforce credentials before Feb 15. Otherwise, they will no longer be able to authenticate. I can't really demo this as all integrations are different, but I can point you to our API documentation at developer.pardot.com. The authentication page in particular has detailed instructions for how to configure your integrations to use Salesforce authentication. You'll need to follow these instructions and make sure that all of your integrations are updated before February. If you are using a third-party API integration service like Zapier, then the owner of that service will be responsible for updating their integration before February. Pardot is proactively reaching out to Drift, FeedOtter, On24, Taxi for Email, Tray.io, Qualified, Zapier, and Zoom. If you are utilizing a service that I have not listed, then it would be a good idea to reach out to them directly and make sure they are aware of this change. The third and final step is to update Pardot's WordPress plugin. If you currently use our WordPress plugin, then you will need to update to the latest version and reconfigure your authentication settings to use Salesforce credentials instead of Pardot credentials. The process is easy and should only take a few minutes. After you've upgraded to the latest version, you'll need to go to the user account settings and change the authentication type from Pardot to Salesforce, then provide new credentials, and you're done. You can find more details at wordpress.com/plugins/Pardot. Now, let's take a look at what platform features are on the Pardot roadmap. First, let's take a look at Pardot business units. We are working on expanding marketing data sharing to not only route the correct CRM data to the correct business unit, but to also support criteria-based sharing rules as a way of ensuring that your marketing users have the same access to data in CRM as they do in Pardot. We will also be drastically limiting administrator overhead by supporting global configurations that can be applied across your business units. We will also allow admins to reuse assets across business units without having to manually recreate them. So if you're seeing success with a high-performing asset in one business unit, reuse it in another and get a spike in ROI. Finally, we're providing a new business unit analytics experience that will provide out-of-the-box aggregation of data sets to give a global view of campaign performance, as well as using Einstein to help with predictive insights on how to best use your data. Imagine the ability for Einstein to identify an audience within a business unit and, based on their engagements, predict their suitability for another business unit. Next, let's talk about a topic that's top of mind for a lot of people at the moment: consent management. Now more than ever, marketers need to be aware of new privacy laws such as GDPR and CCPA and build their marketing strategies with consent and privacy on the forefront. At Pardot, we are prioritizing this need and are looking to develop robust and customizable ways for your organization to tailor their consent data tracking. We are currently looking towards aligning with Salesforce's individual object as a way to enhance the management of your consent and privacy data. And we are reevaluating the consent data we store in Pardot, how that's managed through the API, and how clear the audits of that data are presented. We want to improve how Pardot talks and works with data in Salesforce so it can be aware, regardless of what context you are in. Creating this new integration with the individual object is the first large step in helping redefine how Pardot thinks about consent. And with the individual object living on the Salesforce platform, it will be accessible to other integrations and products that also need to respect consumer consent. Pardot will no longer have to be siloed when determining whether or not a lead should be receiving an email. And of course, all of these consent management features are being built with Pardot business units in mind. Last up, let's talk about building on the platform. The API journey is continuing with a new version in the works. We plan to continue expanding content support via API with things such as custom redirect management. We also will begin to backfill API version 5 to provide equivalent functionality as versions 3 and versions 4. Pardot Sandbox support will also see a highly requested addition, the ability to copy your production configuration into the sandbox. Validating change is difficult, and doing so with your production configuration is imperative. This will allow for shorter turnaround on testing incremental changes, such as previewing new features and changes that cannot be reverted in production. So that concludes the admin demo. With the addition of first-party tracking and a new version of the Pardot API, it's going to be a big release for admins and developers. And while the upcoming user migration project isn't a flashy new feature, we think it'll simplify your setup and set you up to take much better advantage of everything that Pardot has to offer. And now I'm going to hand it over to Aubrey.
Thanks, Michael. That was awesome. My name is Aubrey, a product manager on the email templates team on Pardot, and I'm excited to keep the goodness going. Let's dive into our next theme of productivity. When we think about marketer productivity, we are looking to deliver capabilities to help you do more with less, as we know that the demand for your time is high. One of the things we've seen from successful customers is having a tighter integration between their marketing, sales, and service teams. And in our Summer 20 release, we wanted to help make that integration smoother with the introduction of Pardot's Add to List action for leads and contacts, providing marketing power at the fingertips of your sales and service teams. We now expanded on this support in Winter 21, allowing marketers to add to lists from the contact-related list on account records, adding prospects to Pardot lists from anywhere without leaving Salesforce. This winter, we are also releasing a new service that monitors email open and clicked activity coming into Pardot to intelligently ignore and filter out activity that comes from security scanners, meaning that you can trust the data that you see and that your email stats and MQL will be accurate and reliable. Pardot will constantly and automatically monitor for email clicks that are coming from spam filters to prevent them from polluting real click data from real prospects. Our proprietary algorithm effectively filters out activity based on click behavior in a way that is always up to date. No more lists of IP addresses to manage and no more inflated prospect scores. Data that you can trust that frees up marketers to do what they do best. And finally, with the Winter 21 release, we're excited to launch a brand new email experience for Pardot customers built on the Salesforce platform and available exclusively in the Pardot Lightning app. As part of this experience, we're simplifying content creation with the ability to create email templates and emails using a new drag and drop builder. You'll also be able to easily resend the same content to different audiences over time, including different audiences across business units. And finally, you'll be able to see send level engagement as well as metrics rolled up at the content and campaign level for insight into engagement across multiple facets. But all of this is easier done than said. So let me take you all into the demo of this full end-to-end content creation, sending, and reporting experience. So here we are in our Pardot Lightning app where this new email experience is available. I'm logged in as an admin, so I'm going to launch into setup to begin the setup process. I'm going to type Pardot into the search bar and click on Email Setup. So first things first, in order to enable this new email experience, you must already have a few things enabled, mainly connected campaigns and HTML. Easy links are provided here so that you can complete these prerequisites. The next step is to configure your file hosting through Salesforce CMS, as images used in these new emails will have to be hosted either externally or in Salesforce CMS. The first step is to create and verify a domain to host files. The next step is to create a workspace and a corresponding channel in the CMS. To create and configure these elements, click the Open CMS button here, and you can see your workspaces and channels. I already have one set up for the email builder, as you can see here, but I can change it at any time. The final step in the setup is assigning user access. I've already created my permission set, which includes the permissions to manage emails and use CMS with email templates. Now, all I have to do is assign it to my users. Awesome. Now that we have everything set up, let's get into creating our new emails. So let's navigate to the Email Templates tab of the Pardot Lightning app. Here, users can quickly access templates such as recently used and those created by them. Users also have the ability to organize their templates into folders and subfolders to not only find the right templates faster, but also for sharing templates with others. I can click on the Share button here next to my annual customer conference folder, where I can give users view, manage, and edit access. I'm going to click on my annual customer conference folder and click on this invite, an email template that I've been working on for a little bit. Here on the email template record home, I can see my email subject, description, assigned folder, and a preview, but it doesn't look quite done yet, so I'm going to click Edit in Builder. Clicking the Edit in Builder button will launch the user into this drag and drop experience where they can design beautiful content without any custom code. On the left-hand side, I can see all of the contents available to me, and on the right-hand panel, you will see the email template details. Here you can see the template name, description, and pre-header text. I can also add a background, color, and image to my email to make the content stand out more. Now I'm going to add in an image with the image component. I can do this by pasting in an external image URL or by selecting one from the Salesforce CMS that we configured during setup. CMS is where I can store all of my marketing email media in one place and know that my customers will see it in their inbox because Salesforce CMS was built for scale. Here, I'm going to select a banner image I already have saved. And you'll also see options to set alt text for screen readers and destination URLs. Next, I'm going to add some text to my email. I can personalize this content using HTML merge fields. And I'm going to personalize this one by entering the recipient's first name and then adding some welcome text. I can then center it and change the font colors, styles, sizes, alignment, and if I wanted to, insert inline images and links. Here, I also have a block of HTML that was provided to me by my developer. This block can be used by email designers that like to get down and dirty in the HTML. Next, you'll see down here, I have a row component where I can increase or decrease the number of columns and set their width and padding. Right now, I only need 2 equal columns, so let's stick with that. The one last thing we need to add is a call to action to get folks registered for this conference. With this button component, I can easily build a registration call to action that is eye-catching and simple. I can change both the font and the sizing to the same we used for the rich text, and also give it a background color and then round those corners a tad. Let's also make it a little smaller and set this width to 80%. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to delete that, so I can just undo this. Phew, that was close. Let's actually center this button vertically in this column and then delete that other one because I don't need it anymore. This template looks great to me on my desktop now, but how do I know it will look great across devices? I can easily toggle form factors here in the builder so I know my content will look amazing wherever it's displayed. Let's save this content and check it out. Here it is on the record home where others can see what we built even if they don't have access to the builder. Now that the email template is finished, we can set up our email content record to use for the list email send. So let's move into the email content tab. There's a new email content entity available for B2B marketers that allows you to create emails either from scratch using the same interactive builder or optionally from an email template. So let's add in the email template we were just working on, and we'll see that automatically the subject line and HTML are populated and carried over. Awesome. but as I'm looking at it, something still looks a little off. I think I forgot to add my unsubscribe link, and I can't go anywhere without that. So let's pop back into the builder to add it. Let's add a rich text component at the bottom here for my unsubscribe link. Okay, cool. Let's go back to the record home, and that looks good now. The final thing we need to do is update the text version of the email for those recipients who may be unable to view the HTML version. The Sync from HTML button will sync all of the text content from the HTML version of your email into the text version. Now that our email content is ready to go, it is important to test the email. This helps you build confidence in the email content prior to sending and allows you to confirm the content in the email will perform as expected. First, we can launch the Preview As feature that allows you to preview the email content as it will appear to specific prospects. Once the Preview As modal loads, you'll be able to select a prospect from your account and preview the email content as the recipient will see it upon delivery. After reviewing the content as different prospects, you can click Done to leave the Preview As modal. Next, test emails can be sent out for further review of the email content. You can send a test email to any of the test lists you have built out in Pardot. A test email will be sent out to all of the prospects on the test list. And you can also send out test emails to specific email addresses. You will see an immediate error on any invalid email addresses. After sending out all of the necessary test emails, you can click Done to leave the test modal. Now that your email has been fully tested, we are officially ready to send out the list email. In order to send out a list email, first you must populate a campaign. Then you can select recipient and suppression lists, which allows you to be certain the email is only sent to the correct prospects. There is also now a safety feature in place that prevents the same list from being selected as both a recipient and a suppression list. Next, you can populate information about who the email will be sent from, both the name and the email address, as well as a reply to address, which provides further control on where replies to the email will be sent. Optionally, you can set up completion actions that will trigger an action to occur when a recipient opens, clicks a link, or unsubscribes from the email. Toggle on the category you would like to take action on, like email open, then select the action you would like to have take place when an email is successfully opened. A thumbnail preview of the email content is also available for you to review, a great opportunity to confirm the correct email content has been selected to send out. Finally, you will want to set the email send time. You can either send the email immediately, send now, or you can schedule the time to be sent in the future. For now, I'm just going to click send now. So let's send them out. Now, let's say a few days have passed and you would like to see how your email is performing. Obviously, I just sent that email, so I'm going to take a look at one that I sent previously. We can go back to the email content record and review the engagement metrics. Here you can view all of the important metrics that help you understand how the email content is performing across sends. You are able to understand how many recipients were sent the email, how many have opened it and clicked on relevant links in the email body. Even more, you can see rates such as click-through rate, open rate, and delivery rate, which help you understand and compare this email's performance to others. Since the email is performing well, you could decide to send it out to another set of prospects, which can easily be accomplished from the email content record by again selecting Send. Also, you can see here, this email content has already been sent out twice, so you can compare the performance of each send. Not only do all these send metrics roll up to each email content, but they also roll up to each campaign. As you can see here, all of the list email send data is rolling up to the annual customer conference campaign in the engagement metrics tab. And if we go over to the marketing content tab and click on the related list of email sends, we can also analyze them individually. This completes our walkthrough of the new Pardot email experience. We hope you're excited to go and try it out to send all of your list emails. Phew, that was a lot. I'm super excited to see all of the beautiful emails that you are all going to start sending. But of course, as you know, we're not stopping there. Let's take a sneak peek at our productivity roadmap. Our vision for the new content creation and sending experience that you just saw contains a few main facets. First, we want to extend this building experience to other content types. Imagine building a landing page or a form on a similar framework to the one you saw today. This will really open up for content creation capabilities on platform. Also, we saw a list sending experience in our demo, but we know we want to take this experience to all of your sends. So we're working to design a way for you to use email content in Engagement Studio, automation rules, autoresponders, and Salesforce Engage one-to-one sends. Lastly, we're looking to extend the builder to partners such as AppExchange ISVs or in-house developers that you may have on staff. You'll be able to extend the standard capabilities with custom componentry. You can see here we have an example from GetFeedback, a survey provider. You could imagine dragging that survey component onto the canvas and then selecting from a set of surveys in your library and having that thumbnail appear right here on your email and a call to action that goes to that survey. Simple, easy, and no hopping around to multiple sources of truth or applications. We want to bring the ecosystem to you. It's why you purchased the platform after all. Next, in the vein of productivity, is asset cloning. We've heard your feedback that you need a way to clone all of the assets related to your campaigns. So we are beginning to focus on exactly that. We'll be focusing on a few to start and then expanding to all related assets, including landing pages, forms, and snippets. In addition, cross-business unit campaign hierarchies will allow our customers to accurately model, execute, and report on campaigns that run in multiple business units. Create a parent campaign that spans child campaigns in different business units, and you can aggregate engagement metrics and response rates from multiple business units up to the parent campaign metrics and reporting. Finally, we're diving deeper in the world of account-based marketing. Historically, Salesforce campaigns are focused on contacts and leads, but many of our customers and their marketing teams are focused on accounts. We have already delivered account and campaign-related lists, and the next step is to allow our customers to add accounts directly to campaigns. Account-based campaigns will be a powerful tool in the account-based marketing arsenal. Additionally, we will look to provide richer experiences for building and maintaining account-based lists or segments for our marketers who focus on accounts. That's it for productivity. We can't wait for our customers to get their hands on our new features and to continue to develop our technology to enable marketers to do more with less. I'm going to now pass it off to Mark to see how analytics and Einstein are coming in to help us out. Take it away, Mark.
Thank you, Aubrey. That demo was great. I'm very excited for that new email experience. Hi, I'm Mark. I'm also a product manager with Pardot, and I'm going to walk us through our next theme, analytics. We found that the key to your success is providing you the data you need to make informed decisions. With our B2B Marketing Analytics app, you're able to cut through and explore the mountains of data you're collecting to obtain intelligent, actionable insights that help inform data-driven decisions. And our latest analytics product is B2B Marketing Analytics Plus. With B2B Marketing Analytics Plus, marketers have access to a complete analytics platform that's built right into your CRM. It's a fully connected, intelligent, and enterprise-ready analytics experience that ties together all of your data across all of your marketing applications. It's enhanced even further with predictive insights and recommendations. You'll be able to fully understand what has happened with your campaigns, why it happened, along with smart suggestions on what you should do next to intelligently maximize ROI at every stage of the funnel. B2B Marketing Analytics Plus was generally available in the Summer 20 release, so you can actually go check out a great demo of it in the Release Readiness Live Summer 20 edition, but go do that after we're done here. Now, B2B MA Plus is getting even better with a new app template for users of Pardot business units. As more customers embrace multiple business units, the need to compare performance and engagement across various business units emerges. In B2B MA Plus, you'll have access to the global Pardot business unit analytics intelligent app template. an aggregated analytics experience that makes it easy for marketers to understand what's happening with campaigns, assets, and prospects across business units. An out-of-the-box Einstein discovery integration will help to identify potential cross-selling opportunities across business units as well. With analytics, we have access to a lot of rich data. And when we have access to so much data, it can be hard to know what to do with it all. That's where Einstein and the power of AI come into play. We're putting the power of machine learning to work to enhance your marketing. In the Summer 20 release, we released Einstein Attribution for general availability. This new AI-driven multi-touch attribution model analyzes all of the customer journeys and the conversion patterns of your campaigns to create a customized model, which is unique for every organization. This model takes the guesswork out of the equation by accurately distributing the conversion credit across the different influencing campaigns and the most effective channels. With this model, we look at the complete journey from marketing to sales, and through a set of heuristics, we can connect a prospect to an opportunity, even if it wasn't linked through an opportunity contact role. We look at the lead, task, event, account, opportunity, and a bunch of other records to infer a prospect's relation to an opportunity. And this new analysis will generate a broader picture of the total revenue that's being influenced by marketing, helping you to better attribute the value of your marketing efforts to pipeline and revenue. Einstein Attribution is very easy to deploy, and it offers a state-of-the-art, out-of-the-box, data-driven attribution model. But we understand that one size does not fit all. And starting with the Winter 21 release, customers can now tune the model to better fit their business process by selecting the opportunity stage that best indicates a meaningful marketing conversion. For example, if your business process suggests that opportunities are created very early in the engagement process before an actual conversion or qualification took place, then it might make sense to choose a more suitable opportunity stage as the success milestone, such as negotiation, closed won, or something along those lines. And now let's see Einstein Attribution in action. In this demo, we're going to use Einstein Attribution to see how much our marketing team has influenced a recent large opportunity that our company closed. So here we are on that opportunity record. I have my campaign influence related list added here under the Marketing tab. I can see here that our default influence model, which is even distribution currently, is saying this one campaign influenced the opportunity. But I think we actually have touched this opportunity with more of our marketing than just this one campaign. And we can see here that there's only one contact role added to the opportunity. I suspect we're missing some influence because we're missing some contact roles. Let's see if Einstein Attribution can help. And we'll do this by changing our default model from even distribution to data-driven in setup. So here in setup, I search for Einstein Attribution. And then here can select the option to use this model as the campaign influence default. And now we've done that, let's go back to the opportunity to see these data-driven results in the campaign influence related list. And we can see here already that Einstein has found 5 additional campaigns that influence this opportunity, including the social campaigns we were running, so that makes sense. And it found these without adding any additional contact roles. By analyzing Pardot engagement data and the opportunity data, Einstein was able to associate additional individuals to this opportunity, even though they're not specifically logged as a contact role. For this opportunity, it was able to uncover a lot of additional marketing contribution that otherwise we would have never known about. And the data-driven model is a multi-touch attribution model. And we can see here that conversion credit was distributed across these 6 different campaigns. The revenue share that each campaign was allocated was determined based on historical conversion patterns, leveraging Einstein AI. In the case of this opportunity, the annual customer conference campaign was given almost half of the conversion credit. So this is really great, but I still think our marketing actually did even more for this opportunity than this. Call it a marketer's intuition. And that's because Einstein currently is doing its analysis on activity that occurred before this opportunity was created. However, because our business creates opportunity records very early in the engagement process and our deal cycle is pretty long, marketing campaigns continue to influence opportunities well after the opportunity is created. So it's important for us to continue tracking influence until the opportunity reaches a later opportunity stage. And starting in the Winter 21 release, Einstein Attribution can do this. So let's head back to setup, back to the Einstein attribution setup page. Now down here, along with configuring how far back in time to look for activity, we can also determine which opportunity stage is the success milestone at which Einstein should stop looking for activity. Here we'll select the quote proposal stage, and it can take up to 24 hours or so for this change to process, but luckily I have a copy of this data already processed to show you. So let's head back to the opportunity and see how it looks now. First off, we can see that more campaigns are included. This is exactly what we were hoping to see, and it definitely lines up with what I was expecting to see. These are the campaigns, these 3 new campaigns that we target later in the engagement process, often after the opportunity record is created. Also, we can see the model was automatically tuned to better reflect the weights of all these campaigns that have influenced the opportunity before it reached the new conversion point. So this is really great. This is great for us. Einstein attribution is now working better than ever for our business. And of course, this enhancement is available in my B2B marketing analytics app and the out-of-the-box multi-touch attribution dashboard. It's here that I can measure attribution with an aggregated view of the pipeline together with the contributing marketing activities. So here I can select the data-driven model in the influence model pick list. And we can already see that the data-driven model with the new conversion point enhancement has generated more than 1,300 influence records. So that's providing net new opportunity coverage and also deeper coverage on the existing opportunities compared to other models. So here now I can slice and dice the data to get meaningful and actionable insights on how marketing is influencing the pipeline and revenue. I can drill down into a specific time frame that I'm interested in, as well as looking at specific campaigns, opportunities and accounts, and even channels. And that is Einstein attribution for the Winter 21 release. And now that we've seen that, let's take a look at what is coming next for artificial intelligence. First, Einstein for ABM will enable marketers and sellers to easily identify accounts with the strongest buying signals and best product fit to help drive data-driven prioritization and pipeline growth. It analyzes engagement-based buying signals and account characteristics to identify the accounts that are most likely to make a purchase, ultimately making it simpler to market and sell to the right accounts. And to further enable successful ABM programs, the account-based Einstein attribution model, as opposed to the opportunity-based attribution model that we just saw, will offer a holistic view of marketing influence on key accounts. This model will offer a full picture of how different marketing campaigns are influencing pipeline and revenue generated from these key accounts. Now, as we know, email is at the heart of so much of what we do with marketing automation, and we want Einstein to help you make sure that your emails are reaching your prospects in an optimal way. We're working to have Einstein help you send emails at the right time, with the right frequency, and to lists that are clean with minimal bounces. And finally, we're also enhancing Einstein lead scoring with global models that customers with little data can use, and lead scoring segments to score leads differently based on industry, region, or other fields. And if you want more information, and who doesn't, more information is always good, although hopefully this was a lot of good information for you. Every release, we publish a blog post with highlights of the top new features. In addition, the Pardot releases page provides a quick summary for each new feature delivered in a release. And of course, there are always the tried and true Salesforce release notes, which provide brief feature descriptions along with setup information, tips to help you get started, and best practices to ensure your continued success. Please add and vote for your ideas at the Pardot Idea Exchange. As we saw at the beginning, many of the features we've released were influenced by the Idea Exchange. That's very important. Thank you for doing that. And also engage in the conversation. Ask your questions in the B2B Marketing Automation Trailblazer community. All right, that's it for me. Let's hand it back to Christine, and we'll get some of your questions answered.
Thank you. And hey again, everyone. I'm excited to get to our questions. I see we've already had several people post. As a reminder, we are taking questions both in the community, the Release Readiness Trailblazers community, and Twitter. And I do want to remind everyone that I take them as they come. So if you want them to be read out loud, your best chance to get to hear them is to post them as you think of them. And don't worry if for some reason I don't get to some of them live, we will follow up with you within the next few days. But let's go ahead and get to these. Mark, Michael, Aubrey, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Ready.
Awesome.
I'm ready.
Let's kick it off. We have a few questions about this. I'll start with Joelle's. For Pardot single sign-on requirement, can these new identity licenses be used for integrations like with Zoom?
Yeah, so there are a lot of third-party integrators that integrate directly with Pardot's API, Zoom, Zapier on 24, and others. And we are proactively reaching out to a lot of the really popular ones to make sure that they're aware of this change. They're going to have to make a change on their end to support Salesforce SSO. It's not a huge change, but a change nonetheless. And all of these services that we are proactively reaching out to are available on the FAQ document that was on the screen earlier in the presentation. And if you didn't catch that, it's prd.to/user migration. And there's tons of information and a full FAQ on there.
Thanks for that reminder, Michael. Maida asked, how do you set up Pardot users that won't have a Salesforce user? Can you share anything there or?
Yeah, so ultimately all users are going to have to become Salesforce users. We recognize that that's a big ask for a lot of people and that full CRM licenses aren't free. So we've already bundled 100 identity licenses into all customer orgs. Those would have been rolled into your org about 3 weeks ago. And those are meant to be a full replacement for all of your remaining Pardot only users. And those users, once you've migrated them over to Salesforce, will continue to be able to log into Pardot as they do today to the standalone application. They'll just have to use the login with Salesforce button instead of logging in directly with Pardot credentials.
All right. And Julie wants to know, can identity license users create Salesforce campaigns since Pardot campaigns are going away with the connected campaigns?
They can't directly create Salesforce campaigns because they don't have access to campaigns in Salesforce. These licenses, again, are really meant to be a full replacement for your Pardot only users. So whatever you can do today, creating campaigns in Pardot, connecting them to your Salesforce campaigns through the connector, that functionality will still remain. But those users won't be able to log into your Salesforce instance and directly create campaigns.
Awesome. So it sounds like there are definitely things you guys could be doing in advance, and there is an FAQ doc to help you through the rest of that. Our next question comes to us from Janice. Within the Pardot demo, you filtered by Pardot only, but I couldn't see how you determined what was missing. Can you go over that again? I think that's also a question for you, Michael.
Sure. Yeah, I know we were moving pretty quick in the demo. The point there was if you look at the user's screen in Pardot and then filter on your Pardot only users, that'll give you a full list of all the users that are going to be impacted by this change and that you will need to outfit with a Salesforce user and enable SSO for. So it's really the full list there that you'll need to pay attention to.
Yeah, thank you. And a reminder, we're recording this, so you could always go back to the recording and look at that part as much as you want later too. Julie asks, the new email template has folders. Are those Salesforce folders or Pardot folders? Any clarification there?
Yeah, those are Salesforce folders. So your Pardot folders remain untouched, and the new email template object, yeah, those are Salesforce folders that they're stored in.
Thank you. Another really great question. Can you merge custom object field data in merge syntax in this release? And if not, will that be coming in the future? So a little roadmap question for you.
Yeah, so we actually are not using custom object data in our merge fields for this release, but we are investing in HTML and content creation on the Salesforce platform that will help lay the foundation for more of that CRM data that you want to see in your email. And we're currently conducting research around this and trying to gather requirements to build out this future roadmap. It's not something that we have on it yet, but this is definitely something where we'd love to hear your feedback and love to hear your use cases. So if you'd love to post more about that, you could post on the Idea Exchange, and that would be great to help us inform our roadmap and what use cases we want to solve.
Thank you. Denise is asking, with the new email edit builder, what happens to existing templates that were created in Pardot Classic? Is there a way to migrate those into the email templates object so that we can use the builder to edit them?
Yeah, that's a really great question. We currently don't have a super nice migration wizard that you can just plug in your Pardot email and spit out the new builder email. But what you can do is if you want to access the source HTML for that Pardot email, what you can do is you can copy and paste that into the HTML block that we have in the builder. There are a few things you may have to adjust and remove, such as the Pardot region tags. So unfortunately, there is a little bit of work to do that migration, but we hope that the value of being able to quickly recreate those templates in the builder is something that it will be really awesome. So copy and paste is the workaround for now.
Okay, and sorry if you already said this, but are there plans to create a simpler, more automatic process for that?
Not currently, but again, if it's something that is causing our users a lot of trouble, we're definitely going to listen for feedback on this. And if it becomes a huge issue or we're hearing about it a lot, we're definitely open to reconsidering or putting something on the roadmap, possibly.
You heard it here. We're really listening, so let us know. Lauren wants to know, does hosting Pardot email images in the CRM affect storage space in the CRM, or will the file storage usage for Pardot remain separate? That's a great question. I'm sure others are a little confused on the storage.
Yeah, so there is definitely a difference between the Pardot storage limit and your CRM storage limit. That is your Salesforce orgs. So the CMS image files, those are actually going to count towards your Salesforce storage limits, would be the answer to that question.
Thank you. Yep, separate. Is there an extra charge for B2B Marketing Analytics Plus?
Oh, I can take this one. I have a question. Hey. So I can just run through them all. So B2B Marketing Analytics Plus is an add-on for Pardot Plus and Advanced Editions. It's included in Premium Edition.
Okay.
And B2B Marketing Analytics is included in Pardot Plus, Advanced, and Premium.
Hopefully that answered your question, Janice. Is a Salesforce license required for Pardot users when SSO is only is enabled? There we go.
Sorry, could you repeat that one?
Is a Salesforce license required for Pardot only users when the SSO only is enabled? And that question is from Josh, so maybe if it's not clear, Josh, you can add a little bit to your comment in the community.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I fully understand that one, but ultimately, all users come February, all Pardot users are going to have to be enabled for Salesforce SSO, and we're providing these identity licenses as a way of migrating your existing users over at no cost. So yeah, we can follow up on if we get some clarification on that question, but I don't know if I understand the full nuance of that one.
And sorry, that was Lynette. So Lynette, if you can just give us a few more details in your post, we'd be happy to answer that on the community. Josh's question was actually, are Einstein attribution and B2BMA paid add-ons, or is it included with my Pardot license? Great question, Josh.
All right, that one's me too. Yeah, so B2BMA is included in Pardot Plus, Advanced, and Premium. Einstein attribution is included in Pardot Advanced and Premium editions.
Okay. Maida actually submitted a second question. Will the current templates in Pardot migrate, or do we have to recreate them? And I think we may have touched on that already, but since it came in again, maybe just reiterate.
Yeah, just to reiterate, yes, they would have to be recreated in the new builder. And again, you could access that source HTML and copy and paste it into our HTML block, but fully to recreate them, yeah, you'd have to.
And I know you mentioned that there would just be a few things that you might have to remove. Is there somewhere that they can see instructions on that, or?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is just the region tag that Pardot has to separate out into different regions. And then I think most other email tags should still be supported. If there's any case that comes up, I would love to hear about that so we can help you work through.
All right, thank you. Just that region tag to look for. Becky asked, do we have to change the tracking code on our website if we enable first-party tracking code?
Sorry, could you repeat that one again? I'm sorry, I had a little break up there.
Sure, no worries. Becky was asking, do we have to change the tracking code on our website if we first enable party tracking code?
Yes, as soon as the new code is generated, that will have to be rolled out. But then once that is complete, if you ever want to change the campaign associated with that tracking code, you will not then have to do another rollout of tracking code.
So just one time.
One time.
All right. What today is included in Pardot and what is extra? For example, B2B marketing analytics plus extra. A little more clarification there on what's included and what's not.
So specifically with B2B marketing analytics, I can touch on those. B2B marketing analytics is included in Pardot Plus Advanced and Premium editions. B2B MA Plus, which is the new feature that you saw on the slide. You can go see the demo in the Summer 20 edition of Release Readiness Live. That B2B MA Plus is an add-on for Pardot Plus and Advanced editions, and included in Premium edition. And then the other one that I think I mentioned was Einstein Attribution is included in Pardot Advanced and Premium. So yeah, I think there's a lot of other features that are included or not included across editions that it would probably be best to check the edition breakdown page for Pardot.
Yeah, I think that that's helpful. And Becky, Bill, sorry, that's who asked the question. If you want to add anything to your community post, go ahead and do so, and we'll try to answer it as best we can. And I do want to recognize that we are at the top of the hour, but because we are the last session for the week, yay, we do have a little bit more time. So we're going to stay on for a few minutes longer and try to get through as many customer questions as possible. So feel free to ask your questions if you haven't already. I'm still reading them out. Becky asked, with the new email builder, do we still have access to Litmus? Oh, that's a great question.
That's a great question. Thanks, Becky. So we currently don't have like an out-of-the-box Litmus integration with the current new email builder, but the one with the old one has not gone away. And another highlight that I want to note is the new email builder, as you saw in the demo, comes out automatically responsive out of the box when you're viewing the email on different screens, desktop versus mobile. So we're hoping that that will be able to give you a little bit of the confidence that Litmus is able to provide, being able to see that automatically responsive out of the box in the builder. But it is on the roadmap to have an integration with Litmus so that you can get back to testing those emails through Litmus. It's just not coming with a GA.
Thanks for including that roadmap, Aubrey. Just as an OG Pardot person, I feel like I was really excited about the new email builder, and it's just something that's been asked for so many years. It's so exciting to actually see. Robert asked, I joined late and caught the last mention of API version 5. Is there an FAQ or other details about the API version we can get a look at now?
It'll be, all the API documentation will be on developer.pardot.com. If it's not live now, it will be very soon.
Yeah. And again, we can follow up with you on the community and include that link for you just in case. And Julie, to recap, added, are there any Pardot Einstein features included in the Pro edition? If not, how much is it and what do you need to buy?
So that's a good question. I think that one is best for me to answer in the community. Let me follow up on that. Just make sure that I'm including everything. I don't want to sell it short here, but I'll definitely follow up on that one.
So Julie, hold tight. We will get back to you on that one. Let's give our Twitter followers some love. Jazz asked, are you considering the ability to export and share reports? So especially email reports. Anyone want to take that one?
Yeah, I think I can take that one. We do have some reporting functionality out of the box from Salesforce, but I would like a little bit more specificity on what you're looking for. So if you could add a little more context in the Trailblazer community, I can get back to you on that one.
That one actually came in through Twitter. So either let us know on Twitter or join our community and you can give us a longer, no character specifications there.
Yes.
One of the things I can chime in just a little bit there, maybe it will help address the question a little bit. You can report on emails in Pardot, and also one of the projects that I worked on last year was bringing a lot of that reporting into Salesforce on records in Salesforce. So like related to email reporting, the new email experience has metrics on the records in Salesforce. So the email content, the email template has metrics that will populate based on engagement when you send it through Pardot. So you can report on that data there, and then use you can report on email templates there in the roll-ups of the emails to the campaigns right now. So from there, you can do exports and share the reporting information from the Salesforce side.
That's a great point. Thanks for adding that. Anthony is asking, will we still have the ability to publish one email templates with the new email builder?
Yeah, so right now the new email builder is only for the list send experience, but it is on the roadmap to bring it not only to Pardot automation like Engagement Studio, but also those engage one-to-one emails. So right now the GA is only for list sends, but it is on the roadmap to bring this builder to all the other types of ways we have to send across Pardot.
Can you share any other hints as to like when down the line we might see that?
Yeah, we're definitely proofing out getting it into Automation Studio this release. So we're working on that as a proof of concept. So sometime within the next 2 releases, I would say.
Oh, that's exciting. Does the new Einstein attribution ignore campaign members too? How does it find the contacts that are relevant to the opportunity?
Sure. So generally, there's 2 ways that are used to generate that association. So Einstein will analyze activities and tasks for specific contacts that are logged against a given opportunity. So then there's some validation that's done to these contacts to make sure that they belong to the opportunities account. So it analyzes those activities. It also looks at Pardot activities that took place close to the opportunity creation date. And that second one is generally just done for smaller accounts. And it's done that way to prevent like a false association between a prospect and an opportunity when there's multiple opportunities for an account. So it's analyzing all of that activity and making a connection between the contact and the opportunity in that way.
All right. Great answer. Even the art on your wall was blown away.
That's right.
We actually had Jazz on Twitter add a little bit more info. So again, Jazz's question was about are we considering the ability to export and share reports, especially with email reports? And we asked for a little more information, and Jazz added, we can't export email reports from Pardot currently. So just wanted to put that out there. I'm not seeing any other questions at this moment, but we are close to that 10-minute mark. So, I think we're getting another one from Lydia. Lydia is asking, and this might be the last question before we sign off, but Lydia wants to know, there are some integrations with Pardot that require the connector user to be not a Salesforce user. Is it on the roadmap to address this, since we won't have the non-Salesforce user option come February? In particular, I've run into this with Zoom. So Michael, that question I think is for you.
Yeah, again, for those third-party integrations, they are the really popular ones that we know of. We've reached out. They've all committed to making a change, and we are kind of actively going back and forth with them to make sure that they stay on schedule. And that they have something out, but as soon as those services are updated, then they will be able to be used in this new Salesforce SSO way.
Yeah, lots of questions today on the user migration, but thanks for sharing as much as you did, Michael. And I think you mentioned it earlier, there is more communication coming in the next week even, so look out for that.
There is, yep, you'll be hearing a lot more from us on this.
Yeah. Lisa, we did have another question come in, and I think we have 1 more minute, so we'll go ahead and address it if we can. Lisa asks, are there any plans to enhance reporting for Engagement Studio that will not be an add-on?
I can take this one. I'm not sure if we have anything in the works. I'd have to check with the other product managers on the Pardot team. So stay tuned, and I think we can get back to you on the Trailblazer community.
That's fair. Lisa,
One thing, just to cover, one thing that you can do reporting wise for Engagement Studio is you can use Salesforce reporting for that as well. Just to call that out again, Engagement Studio emails that are sent do show up as list email records in Salesforce if you have connected campaigns between Pardot and Salesforce, and then you can report on those records in Salesforce and get a list of Engagement Studio emails in Salesforce reporting. So that is an option as well for reporting on Engagement Studio today.
Yeah, that's a great point. And if you want to talk through that a little more, if you get on office hours, I'm sure our success guides could definitely chat through those options too. All right, we're at 10 minutes past the hour. I just want to thank all of you for answering all of our customer questions. I haven't seen any more come up. I'll go ahead and wrap up today's question. That's a wrap. Thanks for joining us for a week of Winter 21. And if you missed any of these sessions, you can view the recordings anytime. Remember that all of these webcasts have been recorded and will be on our Salesforce Live website for later viewing. And if we didn't get to your questions today, or said that we would answer it later, don't worry, we'll follow up with you within the next few days. Remember to join our Pardot B2B marketing automation community, and we'll see you right back here in a few months for spring 21. And until then, let's keep the conversation going in the Release Readiness Trailblazer community, where all Trailblazers meet to be release ready.